Hello, loves. This is a channeled message and tarot reading that follows in this video, which I did not have a great introduction for because it honestly came out unplanned. I was doing the engineer archetypal attunement video, and this whole thing just popped right through and was like, yes, I need to be spoken. So, what follows is a tarot reading that starts with the Emperor card from the Infinite Door Tarot, which is mind-blowing in all of the symbolism, but essentially discusses where we are as far as the downfall and the re-engineering of the masculine archetype that has been blueprinting, creating the structures of this world, with Saturn having moved into Aries and Neptune having moved into Aries, them having been conjunct. We're in a new timeline now, and the dream of the new structure is very important. The idea and the knowing that you're capable of inputting into the new structure that gets created is important, because the old structure was never built with you in mind. And so this tarot reading really deep dives into the dark masculine engineer specifically, and how that lives and breathes within all of us if left unchecked, and how we can really embody that in a positive way. So, thanks for tuning in, tuning yourself, and for liking and subscribing. This is super controversial, and honestly, it needs to come out, it needs to be said, it needs to be moved through my channel, because I need to speak it out loud as to, like, here we are in this time on Earth where this emperor structure is doing this, and it's crumbling, and it's melting, and this golden fascination with this untouchable emperor that sits on some throne basically made out of everyone else's hardened tears is crumbling. It's falling. It's being destroyed. It's self-destructing. It's at the end of its time. I want to point out this apple here, because this golden apple is the key. I've been on this Gnostic path and I didn't know it. I've been writing poetry and having epiphanies and dancing with the divine and finding myself and healing childhood trauma and doing all of this journeying and mapping and stuff for myself for years and years and years. And we are now at a point in time where Saturn and Neptune, the structure and the dream, have come together in the sign of Aries. By the way, my midheaven, for anyone who's into astrology, is at 0 degrees of Aries, directly opposing my 0-degree Libra moon. And this is my axis. So I'm speaking here directly from the core of who I am to this archetype, the Emperor, which is being reclaimed. And not by me personally, but I am embodying the collective reclamation in my life. So for those of you participating, by looking at yourselves, at the structures that maybe at one time were serving you, but are now making you feel like you barely have anything holding you up. And what is thin and brittle and not comforting or warming or safe anymore. Thank you for looking at that. And this video is kind of meant to egg that on, to add more fuel to that fire, and also to help kind of make peace with the imbalanced masculine structure principles of the Emperor. That was a whole lot of rambling, so if you're still here with me, I'm going to pull some cards to get the rest of this conversation going as I'm speaking, and I'm using my favorite deck, the Infinite Door Tarot. And even though I'm stuttering, it's okay, because this is what happens sometimes when my channel is like super open. There's a lot to be said right now, and I'm not entirely sure what's going to come pouring out. 10 of Wands. Oh my gosh, but yes, I do. 10 of Wands is this collective burden. And this fire of everything that's heavy that's been carried. 7 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. So I had to sit here and look at this for a second. It's a burden to be the one to plant the seeds. And this is starting me right off with the really controversial compassion for this character in its most negative light. Because it's a burden to feel like you're the one that gets to, ought to, should seed the world. As much as it's pleasurable and delightful and gorgeous and a wonderful experience to hold all of this fertility in your hands. And I'm saying that like shirkingly at those who take for granted beauty and youth and bodies and all of the things that should be held and savored and loved and cherished, and not taken before they're ripe, for one. And also my compassion is with the fact and the knowing that there's human nature and animal nature and manipulation and all sorts of things that have been put upon humans, souls, the human experience. And so it's a burden to carry passion in a world so ripe with fruit for the picking. That's the metaphor that's coming to me. And you might not find much compassion for that. But like desire is great. Let me say it this way. Desperation is like, wow, will make you do things that you never thought you would do. I mean, truthfully, if you've never been desperate for something, like, good for you, but you probably didn't find my channel. If you did, you've most likely been desperate for something. You've most likely sacrificed things you thought you wouldn't for love that you thought you were receiving, or for relief you thought you were receiving, and you name it. You know, this is all sorts of unhealthy coping mechanisms, and that's basically what this is. Like, this is an unhealthy coping mechanism to want to dominate that which you passionately desire so very much, and that what you seek, because 7 is the number of the seeker. It's like you want to experience everything. You want to experience the 3 of creation, but also the 4 of stability. So you want to create an entire empire where you can eternally have this and eternally shirk this burden onto somebody else, but you're creating more burden in the world by disregarding this. By disregarding, and I know that this sounds coded, but if you get it, then you get it, and so I don't care. I'm starting to allow my channel to just make sense to what is supposed to make sense, like to who it's supposed to make sense to. This 2 of Pentacles came out, not this card, but the 2 of Pentacles came out in the reading that I first started doing, which was the Engineer archetypal attunement video, and this is really interesting because it's a different one. Oh my gosh, I love these cards. I love these cards. I love these cards. Look at this. I'm not biblical, but I am intellectual, and I'm studious, and I have recently been really interested in the Gnostic texts. And this feels like, you know, a biblical parable of the parting of the seas and all of that stuff. And essentially what it is it's saying there's power in knowing what your physical actions do create ripple effects that are infinite. And this like platform here feels like it is trying to emulate or be the physical manifestation, but I almost wanted to say manufacturing, because it is. It's the remanufacturing manifestation of the pillars of the High Priestess. It's the best that man can do. Cool, right? Best that man can do to replicate what the High Priestess is. Because man does, and feminine is. And I won't say man, I should correct that. The masculine principle does, and the feminine principle is. It bees. And here's the feminine principle trapped by her own hair, by her own like antenna, by her own Oh, and it's fiery too. It's like, and there's so much, so much in this card. But this Eight of Swords is like, you only think that this is burden. It's really an illusion. It's really a mental game because you lack self-control. You lack self-awareness. You can't see yourself because this archetype of the masculine, the one that has structured this world we live in, the one that's made by the false god, that is like, the Saturn, the Demiurge, all of those archetypes, the not divine masculine. It's the darkened, needing to control, needing to punish, needing to dominate God that cannot see itself. It cannot see beyond itself. It cannot see the cosmos that created it. It cannot see the mother. It cannot see the divine spark energy snakes proverbial in the garden that are like here for enlightenment, for awareness, for clarity. My goodness. And then this Six of Wands reversed feels to me like not the lack of success, but how success, when the dare I say, I can't say wrong version, because that's not correct. Success when only one person is up here riding this thing, and everyone else kind of becomes shadow figures, where like literally everything else becomes like dispensable. You see it in the movies all the time. You see it in war all the time. You see it in everything all the time where there's like people who it's like, oh, well, they died, but it doesn't matter because the main character is still fine. Like, what? What? Why? Why is that okay? Why is that a theme that everybody goes with? Don't we all understand that we're all these? And that the main characters, the ones that like have all the money to buy these fantastic things, don't care about us. And that's what this is. And this all came from this engineer archetype attunement video where the engineer isn't built to care. And that's what this is at the worst case scenario. The emperor, the masculine, the god of this world, all of this stuff. And I'm rambling, and again, I'm gonna like try to stop myself from apologizing for not explaining it all to a T and making sense. But if you found this video, I hope this helps you understand what you've specifically been trying to understand right now, because like this is super specific and it's very rambly, but it's like so clear in my scope. Okay, so please give me one more card to help me be a clear channel. Please allow me to be a clear channel. Thank you for showing me how to get out of the way and be a clear channel. It's not about me and how I say it. It's about you. Moving it through me. I love this. Justice and the Six of Swords. Here's the feminine, liberated. This red hair is not a binding. It's divine fire. And here's these snakes that witnessed this, what later became an unraveling, and became her scale of justice, so that she might weigh and decipher. Because she, justice, is the compassion of the human form being illuminated. Here's all this similarly colored to the ice, but there's like more of the sea green brought in, because this is like bringing it into the earth element, into the feminine. We're listening with a compassionate ear, and we're weighing. We're not even forsaking. The true justice isn't to swing to the upper or to the opposite direction of this and like smash the patriarchy and fuck men and all of that stuff. No, it is to rehabilitate and reharmonize and rebalance the scales so that all of it can rise. Look at how high up this scale is. It's not down here on the table. it's rising to her expectation because she's channeling the divine wisdom of how much justice can potentially be served. Look at how much left there is to go. We have a long way to go because this throne is like starting to melt. But this thing is like made of gold, so it's not impermeable, but it's going to take some heat and some pressure. And also, it's going to take the decisions for us to leave, to endure the choice to sail rocky seas, to illuminate ourselves with the actual inner light, and not one that's promised by some savior, but this like on the horizon. It's the rising star, it's the Venus, it's the whole thing. It's the snakes in the garden. And here we are traveling to the garden because otherwise we've been in desert. We've been in the desert. And then there's somebody out there in the oceanic dream world, or in your own, oh my gosh, like I go places in my dreams. This is like you visit another realm, or you plant the seed, you do the ritual, you conjure the emotional state so that you can exit somebody else's dream of holding you, containing you, drinking all your juice, sucking you dry of your life force. Stop holding all of their crap. Unbind yourself. And I don't know that I started, maybe I finished saying what I was saying, but minding the company you keep then too, create a new community. Like this Six of Swords is leaving in the boat, and it's like, this person doesn't need to wield 6 swords. These other 5 are likely for community members so that they can all share clarity, so they can all share wisdom and insight, and look at this infinite dilemmascape. Because community is better together, just like here. It's not actually encircled here, but you know what I mean? Lemniscape. And to be honest, there's like a cosmic infinite cycle of rebalancing, and I don't know the technical terms of the things because I know, like, I read so much and I take in so much, and then I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, but I'm a master of a few, but I'm a jack of a lot of trades. Anyways, the point was that there's like cycles that the earth, that the cosmos, that the universe goes through. And I feel like we're in the time of this kind of cosmic rebalancing where the pendulum swung so far. And now all of that kind of has to be like destroyed. And also, but that's like taking place over a long time. And also it's not. It's right now in our immediate time frame. And to me, it's on a very personal journey. And all of us have that. And also, this is Major Arcana. We're all rebalancing the scales. And it's also very personal. And also, there's a collective of us doing it, so we could tap into the feeling support of the other people who are out there in the desert, and how relevant. Like, all of the ancient wisdom of who we were when we first inhabited this earth, like the ancient being humans, is buried in the deserts. And look at where all the wars happen. Look at where all the destruction happens. And so the point is to stop carrying the burden of like trying even to dig into the past to figure out who we are. It's about setting the intention with the ritual of our emotions and our ability to be here and be present now, and the willful intention to endure whatever storms may come so that we can liberate ourselves. And then we can plant our own seeds and be our own garden, our own fruit, our own tenders. Wow. That was like the most symbolic channeled message that I've delivered on this channel so far. So I'm curious to see how far and where this goes in the commentary, and if my ramble or any part of it made any sense to you at all. I would gladly please give me your commentary, but like the conversation, you know, weave with me. And this isn't desperation that I'm asking. I have like magical people in my life that I love co-creating with, and the bigger, the wider, the like more that can get, whoa, slamming into the thing, trying to refocus the camera, the better. Wow. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care. See you next time.